I don't like when people watch me while I'm filming. What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see by the title of this video, I have Lifesaver tips that will help you to become a aesthetic registered nurse. If you are not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you do subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on those notifications so that you can be notified each and every time I post. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So first off, I keep seeing on Google that you have to have a aesthetic nurse specialist certification, and that is not true. Now that might be true for some states, but here in Georgia, you actually don't have to have that at all to become an aesthetic registered nurse. My first tip is to do your research. Always, always, always do your research on what state you're in, what all a registered nurse can actually do. Every state differs in the things that they allow the registered nurse to perform. So some states, they may require you to practice under a physician when doing Botox or doing fillers, or they may not even allow a registered nurse to do Botox and fillers. So make sure you definitely research your state and find out what all you can do in your state. So here in Georgia, you can actually own your own medical spa as a registered nurse. You just have to have a medical director that is over the facility, so in case any emergencies happen or you need to consult them for specialized patients. A really great link that I actually use is called americanmedspa.org. So you can go on there. I think they do have memberships that you may have to sign up for, but you should be able to get some information on that website concerning what all you can do inside of your state. My second tip is experience. So me personally, I had about 4 years of IV experience. So that is doing blood draws or doing IVs on patients. I do recommend that you at least have about 1 year of experience as far as doing consecutive IVs. So I know a lot of hospitals, at least the one I came from, they actually have an IV team. So I definitely recommend that you try to shadow on the IV team, or you can actually become a part of it so that you feel more comfortable with it, especially if you're going to be working at a medical spa that provides IV hydration treatments. My third tip is to take aesthetic classes. So, me personally, I actually took a level 1 Botox and fillers class. I actually took them on Palette Resources. They actually have virtual classes, but they also have hands-on training. They're actually a lot cheaper. They range, I believe they're about $37 or so. Very affordable compared to the hands-on training, especially if you just want to get like an intro course and just get a certification. You can always do the Zoom classes. They are about 2 hours each, and the instructors are amazing. They're very well detailed. They actually use a actual model to do the Botox and do the fillers and actually show you the different areas on the face that they actually apply or inject the fillers or the Botox. So definitely a great resource. Make sure you look them up. My fourth tip is to become a patient. So I was actually told this by the instructor in the Palette Resources class. I was asking her, how was I able to get into aesthetic nursing without much experience? So although I had the classes under my belt and I had the IV experience, I didn't know what type of services that the medical spa that I would try to work at would be offering. She told me to become a patient. So what that means is, of course, you try out their services, make sure you dress the part though. So don't come in there looking all raggedy and stuff, you know. Come in there with interview clothes on, your face done up a little bit of mascara on, and look the part. She recommended that you get a facial, do a chemical peel, do an IV hydration drip, do something to see how the environment is, see how the coworkers work together, see how you're being treated in the facility. And if it's a great place or a good environment and you actually feel comfortable there, then you could definitely, hopefully, you can talk to the owner possibly. Sometimes the owner is in, so that might be a great opportunity for you to actually get a job. I definitely recommend that you look up top medical spas in your area. So me, I live in Georgia. A lot of the top ones are, of course, our competitors. But looking up top medical spas, reading the reviews, seeing what people are saying about it, their experience, of course, is all important things to picking out what place you might want to work at or apply to. So when you do become a patient, you want to be observant. You want to look around, you want to make sure the area is clean, make sure that there's no like roaches running around, because down south they have a lot of different insects down here and you don't want that. So make sure you look around the area, make sure it's a clean environment. Personally, the medical spa that I work at, we actually use a sterile hood to mix all of our infusions, which I'm sure you've seen pictures of it or my last videos that show it in it. We are actually the only medical spa that uses a sterile hood. So that's the biggest thing that sets us apart from a lot of our competitors that we constantly promote. And lastly, when you do become a patient, make sure you bring your credentials with you. So even though the owner may not be there, bring your resume, bring your certifications, bring your stuff to brag on yourself, because you never know who you may run into, especially living down here in Georgia. A lot of people are connected. Somebody always knows somebody. So make sure you bring your certifications with you and your credentials so that you get better recognized. My next tip is inspiration. So me personally, I had 2 nurses that I constantly followed pretty much after I graduated nursing school. So, and even throughout nursing school, they really helped me stay motivated and stay focused on my goals. So 2 of those nurses, one of them is Joanna, TheNurse, and I'll tag her name here. She is I believe she lives in California, but she does aesthetic nursing. She does lots of Botox. She's very highly booked and busy. So she definitely was a person that was my inspiration on aesthetic nursing, and watching her do a lot of facials, microdermabrasion with PRP is something that I am so inspired to actually start performing soon. So she does a lot of cool things, so check her page out for sure. She is one person who I love to watch. My second YouTuber is Fatima Francesa, I believe is how you pronounce her last name, or her middle name, I believe it is. She is actually a nurse practitioner now, and she's a young nurse practitioner, so she definitely has always been motivating for me. She just actually opened her own medical spa in South Carolina, I believe, Greenville, South Carolina. So definitely check her out if you are in the South Carolina area, because she does a lot of IV hydration drips. I'm not sure if she does Botox and fillers and stuff yet. I haven't seen that on her Instagram at all, but definitely check her out if you're in the Greenville, South Carolina area. Fatima also actually posted a YouTube video, and I'll try to find it, and I'll also link that as well. But that was the first video that I saw that she basically put a lot of nurses onto different forms of income for nurses. So not only doing bedside nursing, but doing nurse entrepreneurship and just kind of getting to the business side of nursing that a lot of nurses don't really discover at all, because all we think there is bedside, and that's not the case. My next tip is interview. So interview experience and nailing your interview. So what that composes of is, of course, doing your research, like the first tip that I shared. You also have to know what your salary range is in your state. In addition, like we spoke about before, you have to find out what all you are able to perform as a registered nurse in your state. Other great questions to ask in an interview are, what is expected of you. For me, the medical spa that I work at is a new business, so I had to take on more of a managerial role, which at first I wasn't expecting, but I definitely have just walked right into it with purpose. So far, it's been amazing, an amazing journey. You also want to ask about commission or tips. Some medical spas, they don't allow their workers to take tips. Some medical spas do. So you want to find out about bonuses or tips or any kind of commission that they may grant you as the worker, especially if they have certain products that they're selling. I definitely recommend that you look on ZipRecruiter for the credentials as far as salary. So for Georgia, the top earners annually for aesthetic nurses is about $113,000 a year, which is equivalent to $55 an hour. The 75th percentile is about $99,000 a year, and that is equivalent to $48 an hour. The average is about $78,000 a year, which is equivalent to $38 an hour. So if you are a newer nurse or a newer aesthetic nurse, most likely you will be making about average. And the 25th percentile is $69,000 a year, which is equivalent to $33 an hour. Make sure that you take into account that you are going to be in a more flexible environment, a less stressful environment, and you're going to be doing a lot more customer service versus patient care. So it's going to be definitely an adjustment and a change, but I actually have sales experience. I worked in retail for a couple years, so working with customers, working with people, selling products is something that I am used to or accustomed to. My next tip is expectations. I think I touched on this a little bit in one of my last tips, but expectations, you have to know what is expected of you. So like I mentioned before, I work at a more newer business. I had to take on more of a managerial role versus other places who have already been established and they already have been up for a couple years. Usually as an aesthetic nurse who is coming into that environment, everything is already pretty much set in stone, so you just have to follow the rules. But new businesses, sometimes if they are a little bit of a trial and error type of thing, and you more so will take on more of a leadership role versus other places who already have those leaders in place. So for my medical spa, I'm actually in charge of a lot of different things, but one of them is the social media and the marketing. So I have my own personal Instagram for my medical spa, and I do a lot of pictures of our patients, our clients, and I post videos, I post reels, I post TikToks. I pretty much do a lot of social media marketing to get our brand out there, to get people to know about us. That's one of the expectations of working at a newer medical spa versus working at one that's already been established. So one thing that I really love about the medical spa that I work at is that he is constantly asking me to participate in any kind of business endeavors. So that's my next tip, is that even if you're at a medical spa that's already been established, make sure you participate in any kind of marketing ventures, any kind of Zoom meetings with corporate or with the boss or with the owner. Make sure you participate in those things and become aware of those things, because especially if you want to open your own one day, or you just want to learn a lot more of the business side of nursing, then those people can definitely help you grow as an individual, but also you see a lot of those mistakes that may have happened, or they can kind of mentor you to show you the way. So in nursing, there's a thing that I always say is to be a sponge, especially as our new baby grad nurses. Make sure you be a sponge when it comes to aesthetic nursing, because it is a different field. It is a different way of nursing. You have to be the educator. As a nurse, you are the nurse educator. You are educating your clients about, for example, the benefits of IV therapy. So make sure that you are knowledgeable of the information that you are presenting. So you don't want to be talking about something and you have no recollection of it. You want to make sure that you know what you're talking about and you know the benefits of it and you know it's going to help that patient tremendously. So for example, there's a question that I get a lot is, why is IV hydration so beneficial versus taking oral supplements? And I mean, the biggest thing is that you're getting 100% of the vitamins intravenously versus only absorbing about 30% of an oral supplement. So that's a question I get a lot working in a medical spa and providing IV hydration to a lot of people. So knowing those tips and knowing the education behind it and being able to teach other people about the benefits of it is ultimately what we do as nurses. I don't know what number I'm on. So my next tip, and actually my last tip, is I don't like when people watch me while I'm filming. I guess I'm just really shy sometimes. Make sure you are comfortable in what you are doing. Me personally, I am a shy person at first. I know it probably doesn't seem like it, but I am. And I hate being put on the spot when it comes to things. I like to do them when I'm ready to do them, when I feel comfortable to do them. So make sure you know your comfortable level, I guess. When it comes to a new business, like I said, you're doing a lot of promoting, a lot of social media, a lot of marketing. So me personally, I'm not the type of person to walk up to somebody and just start talking to them about IV hydration. That's not my forte. I'm more of the person who, if we're having a conversation about something health related, then I would obviously bring up that I work in a medical spa and the benefits of this and that. So make sure you just know where you're comfortable at. I think my comfortable level is educating people through social media. So doing reels to doing YouTube videos like I'm doing now, educating people in just conversation. That's where I feel comfortable at. So if you're like me, just know that it's okay to be like that. It's okay that you're not the more aggressive type that's going to walk up to somebody and start talking to them. Just be you and just know where you're comfortable at is basically all I'm saying. So I guess that's all the tips that I have for right now. If anybody has any questions at all, make sure you reach out to me. I'm very friendly. I always reply to my comments. So if you have any questions about how to become an aesthetic nurse, check out my other videos and I'll link some of them down here as well. And if you have any questions about aesthetic nursing in Georgia or any additional questions that I may not have answered in any of my videos, please, please, please reach out to me because I am definitely a person who promotes aesthetic nursing, but also I want to help anybody that is on a different path outside of bedside, or if you just have any questions about advice or anything like that, just don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always here. So I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.